What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to episode 9 of the Pack Mentality Podcast, your number one source for Zombies Discourse. I'm your host, AQ Devi, of course, joined with the young and talented Shorbz. And today we are going to be ranking all of the DLC2 Zombies maps now that Paradox Junction is finally out. So yeah, we're going to have some fun with that. Before we get started, just want to say that by the time you're seeing this, we have our official Pack Mentality Podcast Discord live and open to the public, which you can join with the invite link below. Please come and join us. We love chatting with every single one of you guys. We see you in the comments. We love responding there. But if you want to get to us easier or just start conversations with other fans of the podcast, feel free to do that with the link below to the Discord. Without further ado, Shorbz, what is it? What do we have? 12 maps, we said?
Yeah, so we got 12 maps. We don't know each other's lists. There is a little caveat for some of AQ Devi's ranking. So it's all maps. It's Treyarch, non-Treyarch. And so AQ Devi hasn't played too much of some of the maps, so I guess it'll be just kind of like what your best idea of where you think the maps belong.
Sure, yeah. I have very limited experience with some of these games like World War II, Infinite Warfare, so I'll leave little asterisks where I see fit, but I went ahead and went with the best ranking that makes the most sense to me for the various reasons that I'll give. But yeah, Shorbz, let's start with you. What's your number 12 DLC2 map in COD Zombies?
All right, so my number 12 DLC2, I have played this literally one time, and I never plan on playing it ever again. And this is Outbreak from Cold War.
Okay.
I just, it's like MWZ, man. I loaded in. I think on Outbreak I made it to round like 5 or something, and I was like, I'm not like, this is like the least fun I could possibly be having right now. Like, I'd rather boot up Vanguard, honestly. It's not zombies, in my opinion. Like, you're just doing these like random missions and stuff, and there's some cool stuff about it. I'd imagine like as you progress there's probably like cooler stuff, but like it was just so, in terms of like hooking the player, like if I'm just somebody that comes in like brand new and I'm like, oh, what's Outbreak, and I load in, like, I don't know how it would catch anybody's attention, but it has its following. People love Outbreak. It's definitely not my thing. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's not zombies. I could say so many bad things about it. I just don't like it. So, Outbreak is dead last for me. I do not like it at all.
I have some different thoughts about Outbreak. We'll get there when we get there. Mine's a little higher, just because it is somewhat different, and I think they went in a different direction that I can respect, and it had been something that people were asking for a long time, believe it or not. But yeah, we'll get there when we get there, and I can give Outbreak some of its flowers. But my number 12 is going to be Carrier from Advanced Warfare. Advanced Warfare in general is just a pretty weak map, in my opinion, although Carrier is one of the better maps on it. When put up against all of these other DLC2 maps, it really doesn't stand a chance, just with how the gameplay functions ultimately. There are some cool steps and side eggs, but yeah, when standing up against some of these maps, yeah, dead last, easy.
Yeah, definitely the sort of Advanced Warfare mechanics hold it back for sure. I think there actually is like some charm to Carrier, but I'll I guess glaze it a little bit when I end up getting to it in my list. But I agree, it's not super strong, and definitely when you compare it to some of the maps towards the top of the list, it's hard to put it too high. So yeah, no, I respect it. Outbreak should be your 12, but that's okay. I'll let it be Carrier. Do you want to cover your 11, or should I just jump into mine?
Go for it.
So my number 11 is, it's funny that two of the DLC2s are the same map, just one's Shinonuma, one's Shinonuma Reborn.
Yeah.
And for me, me, the original version of Shinonuma is my 11th ranked DLC2 of all time. Again, it was cool at the time. I'm not somebody that thinks that like just because it sort of added something to zombies that it needs to be like like it's basically like right now, how much fun would any of us have going back to Shinonuma and playing it? And in my opinion, it's none. There's not much to do on it. You just kind of like it introduced like the like random perks are sweet. I think it did it introduce the WAF, or am I
It did.
that?
You got it.
Introduce the WAF. I think it is pretty sick how it functions differently than the other World at War maps, and you could high round into like the 10,000s, which is crazy. But
Yeah.
Besides that, like there's a little bit of charm to it with that. But yeah, if I was to go back and play Shinonuma right now, I'd be bored out of my skull like 10 minutes into the game. So yeah, it's gonna be at 11 for me. What's your number 11, or what are your thoughts on Shinonuma before you get into that?
Yeah, we're not too far away from where I put Shinonuma. I'll give it some of its flowers when we get there, but it's a very valid place that you put it at. My number 11 though, like I said, I haven't experienced it a ton. In fact, I've probably maybe played this map one time. I plan to go back and play all these ones that I don't know a whole lot about, but it's gonna be Shaolin Shuffle for me. I think.
Okay.
It, in my opinion, is the weakest map aesthetically. That I think that's just personal opinion. I can see how it would charm certain people. The wonder weapons, if you can call it that. What is it? The cheese?
Yeah.
I don't I don't care for that as a concept so much. It's kind of cool, but I don't know. Something about it just doesn't work for me in the same like sort of whimsical way that other Infinite Warfare maps do and make a little more sense in my opinion. But what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm not too big of a Shaolin Shuffle guy, but for me it is a little bit higher. When me and a buddy went through all of the IW maps sort of like in order, Shaolin Shuffle definitely stuck out to me as being my least favorite of the group. So yeah, I agree. I even like Beast from Beyond more than Shaolin Shuffle. So yeah, I mean we'll definitely have to play it. Maybe we'll have a different opinion on it, but like there are some cool things about it, and I'll cover those when we get to it on my list. But no, that's a fair ranking. Number 11 is totally fine for that. We're gonna get into my number 10 actually, which is Carrier. Your list, your number 12, my number 10. There are some cool things about Carrier though, man. Like there's the Easter egg step where you like go down in the cage and there's like the zombie shark thing, and I think you have to like pluck its eye out or something. Like that's really sick. I think like really just like really creative, like innovative step, and it's just like fun being in the shark cage. I really like that. I like the drunk step where you like have to go around the map basically in this like drunken state where like the screen's sort of like tilting back and forth and stuff. I think that's really cool. And then there is like it's a pretty infamous step because of how like ridiculous it is, but the one where you have to get the like parts of the zombie, like the I don't know what you would call them, but you like charge up that teleporter and then go to the island. It's really annoying and like really dumb, but there's like a small part of me that thinks it's kind of cool because you get to like teleport to some place that like you've never been before. It's just like this island, and then you know when you get there you start just like pecking at the ground like a chicken. But
yeah,
no, like there are some cool things about it. I do like some of I mean the Planko thing with the grenades, that's really cool as well. But those are kind of just like small like silver linings basically in a map that's otherwise not really great, and definitely held back by AW's mechanics as well. So yeah, Carrier's gonna be my number 10, and you already gave your thoughts on it earlier, so we'll just go ahead and segue into your number 10.
I was gonna say, yeah, it ultimately is like just sort of a shame that it does have cool steps, just ultimately in not a very good game.
Yeah.
But yeah, my number 10, again, haven't played a lot. In fact, I don't know if I've ever played this map, to be fair. And that's going to be Shadowed Throne from World War II. The reason it's higher than Shell and Shuffle, which I'm pretty sure I played, and Carrier, which I definitely have played, is just the World War II aesthetics are fantastic. I really wish it's something that we would go back to. In fact, Totenreich might very well lean into that a little bit. Yeah. I just can't speak highly of it with such limited experience. I've heard certain things on it. I know you've said it. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's your least favorite of the maps, not counting Tortured Path in World War II?
Yeah, it's my least favorite. And like, I still do like it a good amount, but yeah, it's definitely my least favorite of the group.
Sure. Yeah. That's all I really got to say about Shadow Throne.
That's fair.
I'd love to go back and play with you, though.
Yeah, I'll give sort of my thoughts when I come around to it, but yeah, it's funny that your perception of these maps, are you ranking them lower just because you haven't played them, or is like do you think even when you do play them, do you think like this is just how you guess that they would rank among the other DLC2s?
They are definitely lower, just out of pure like I can't speak any which way about them, and I feel like it would be a little unfair to make guesses, but it is injected in there a little bit. Like I said, Shadow Throne's above Carrier, and I've definitely played Carrier.
Yeah, that's fair.
But ultimately, yes, they are much lower than they may be, just out of lack of confidence, in my opinion.
That's fair. That's fair. So, yeah, moving on to number 9. We mentioned Shinonuma. Now it's time to talk about Shinonuma Reborn.
Yeah.
It feels weird putting it at 9 because I actually do like it. Like, I would say right now is the cutoff. Maybe Carrier. I actually don't mind Carrier too much, but Shinonuma Reborn is actually a map that I actually do enjoy. Yeah, I think they took Shinonuma and they made it like they just expanded on it, and it was all great. I think everything they added was great. It doesn't hurt that this is the, people were begging for a round-based map, and we got one, and it's a pretty solid Easter egg. Though I think that this is where they brought the WAF back and Vanguard as well, I think, right?
Yeah. I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, that was cool. Like I said, Easter egg's fun. I think there's a boss fight. Yeah, there's a boss fight, right? Yeah, it's what's her name? Is that
Syraxis?
Sure. Yeah, that works.
Or I think so. The multi I'm conflating Syraxis and Zambala, the multi-faced enemy that was very annoying before its nerf.
Okay.
I think it's Syraxis. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. But yeah, no, overall it's a really solid map. I think it sort of highlights the good things about Vanguard. Like, visually, a lot of the stuff about Vanguard is really cool. The perk system is pretty sweet, especially in this map. And yeah, overall, I think it's just a solid map. If I was to ever download Vanguard again, it would be because of Shinonuma Reborn. So yeah, it's my number 9. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I put Shinonuma Reborn as like my most underrated map in our ranking a couple weeks ago. Not to say that that's like one of my favorite maps or anything, but just in contrast of where it normally sits in people's lists to where like how much better I think it is than that. Yeah, I think Shinonuma is heavily overlooked. Definitely by far the best version of the map.
Easily, yeah.
Which I think is a good time for my number 9 to be original Shinonuma. My personal least favorite of the World at War maps on probably any of its iterations. Yeah, Shinonuma, it kind of sits in the middle of certain innovations that were being made in World at War. Like, Baruch obviously had the big thing with the perk machines being introduced, Doris with the pack-a-punch machine. Shinonuma sat firmly in between those and didn't do a whole lot, in my opinion. The saving grace of that map is ultimately, I think it's interesting that instead of like most zombies maps are sort of like circles that you can loop completely around. This one is like 4 forked paths.
Yeah.
But the big thing of that map to me is some of the like spooky radios. I mean that's just when Treyarch was in their bag on the radios and creating a very specific dark ambiance. But that's all I can really give it. I don't care so much for the Shinonuma aesthetic. The zombie models doing their like martial art style poses is kind of cool, but yeah, Shinonuma, not a big fan. It's my number 9.
Yeah, that's fair. I already gave you my thoughts, but no, it's a good point that it sort of separates itself by being, the kind of branches off into the 4 different paths. My number 8 is Shell and Shuffle. Like I said, I think it's the weakest of IW. There's just, Pam isn't as interesting as like the other special characters. The Chi don't interest me as much as like in terms of like a wonder weapon. I think some of the Easter egg steps are cool. I like the one where you're on the roof and you have to sort of shoot the symbols in the correct order to spell out a word. There's just one of the steps is like chasing a rat around and like making it go into like different cages. I don't know. It just like the Easter egg doesn't flow well. To your point, I think the atmosphere is probably the weakest in IW. A big saving grace for it is the boss fight, the Rat King boss fight. I actually really like that. I think it's a really well-made boss fight, which is actually a theme in IW. I think the boss fights are all like really unique, really solid, and have like their own mechanics that make them like feel different than the other ones that you play, and it's not all just bullet sponges or whatever. There's like puzzles and stuff. But yeah, besides that, there's really not too much to speak on in terms of like Shell and Shuffle. It's just kind of the weakest in IW in a lot of ways, but it's it's still not like, it's not horrible. Like it's not like you're gonna load up and have a bad time. It's just, I don't know, it seems like IW sort of like missed a step essentially when they were making Shell and Shuffle. So it's that's gonna be my number 8.
I can respect, correct me if I'm wrong, it takes place in New York, right? Yeah, rats are like a big like cultural it might be stereotypical, but rats are a very like cultural thing for New York, so I guess it's kind of funny that they have steps involving rats in the boss fight. So I can respect it for that, but what is it, the 70s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 70s, 80s?
I don't know.
It just wasn't a big hit for me.
Oh, real quick, and the freaking ninja zombies, bro, like horrible enemy. I think it's, maybe I'm just, because I like, isn't it a thing of if you just walk away from them then they won't teleport, but if you run, that's when they start to teleport in front of you, and dude, they'll freaking smoke you in like 2 hits. Like those things are crazy.
Don't ask me, I don't know shit.
That's fair. So yeah, not that's another thing that kind of brings it down for me, but maybe it's just it's just mad because bad kind of thing. But yeah, it's gonna be my number 8.
I think I've heard that opinion before, so don't feel bad. Number 8 for me is gonna be Outbreak. I remember a time when Outbreak was coming out, and it was just something so different. It was our first like non-round based zombies, and there was a lot of hype. I can't say I hate it. I actually played it quite a bit because it was by far the best way to get those crystals to get your permanent upgrades on all the different things you could in Cold War. I actually made it pretty far quite a few times in grinding for those crystals, but some of the maps just felt flat. I do respect that they were like iterating on it and adding different sort of like missions, for lack of a better word, different maps. Like they were adding to it as the year went on, adding in wonder weapons and enemies and stuff. It is a cool concept. I think if they did it again in a better way, like I think Modern Warfare Zombies what was a better version of it. I think if all the stars aligned, Outbreak could have been better, and I think in the future it could be. But as their first outing of a mode like this, an open world sort of zombies, I can't knock it too hard. I did have plenty of enjoyment with it, but yeah, ultimately it does fall flat when looking at the true round-based maps that we have here still to come.
Yeah, I think sort of the point you make about like MWZ being like the more polished or like the better version of it. I haven't played much of MWZ myself, but it's funny you mention it because recently, I think it was Chromosoma that said that it's like he thinks it's really good, and he's isn't the first person that's told me that. So maybe I'll have to try MWZ, and maybe that'll make me want to try Outbreak again. You and I are gonna have to play. Maybe you and I have to play both. I'll show you the ropes in the non-Treyarch games, and then you just give me the modern zombies spiel here.
I'd love to run Modern Warfare Zombies with you. It's a very unique experience. You may love it, you may hate it, but yeah,
I see some cool stuff about it. That's for sure. Like people are like launching themselves like across the map, and it seems like there's like some sweet boss fights and stuff as well. Maybe I'm just like making stuff up, but
no, yeah.
Okay. All right, I'm looking forward to trying that out. But no, Outbreak, I already gave you my thoughts on that. I'm not too big a fan, but
ooh.
So now that was number 8. So now my number 7 is a map you already mentioned. It's Shadowed Throne, World War II. Yeah, Shadowed Throne. It's my least favorite. I guess I didn't think about this until now, but yeah, Shadowed Throne and Challenge Shuffle are both my least favorite maps on their respective games. Yeah, they start with Final Reich and Darkest Shore, and I feel like they took a lot of risks with both of those maps. And then Shadow Throne comes around, and it seems like they definitely sort of went away from the horror stuff and made it more like adventure, I guess. Don't get me wrong, it's still really scary. There's like hanging bodies and stuff going on. Like it's still, they didn't like totally like lose the plot or anything, but it definitely didn't have the same, like it didn't strike the same fear that like Darkest Shore does. Yeah, the Easter egg isn't as fun. There's like some cool steps. When you like give the points to the thief underground, and I think there's a time where like you basically have to give him a gun, and then later on you find that he died to a Wussling, but if you give him an upgraded gun, then the Wussling's dead and it's actually him.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's like it's a cool just like small thing like that. That's fun, but yeah, I mean the wonder weapons it's just a bunch of melee weapons. It's nothing like too fun. I think the melee weapon idea is done much better in Frozen Dawn.
That's not what I was expecting you to say.
Oh, dude, like Citadel? Is that what you... Yeah, I guess I was trying to stick in the same game because it's like, man, World War II has a lot of like melee wonder weapons. It's crazy, but
it's bizarre.
Yeah, no, Frozen Dawn does it definitely much better in the same game. So maybe that kind of brings the Shadow Throne wonder weapons down for me. But the wonder weapon, I guess the non-melee wonder weapon, sort of, I forget the name of it, but it's like the laser thing. Basically, just shoots a laser. It's not very good at all. There's the super sprinter zombies that literally run fast. They run faster than you, so it's like that's, I feel like that's just almost never a good idea.
Yeah.
Like if you're running at full speed, you should definitely be faster than the zombies, but yeah, just those two are annoying. The boss fight is my least favorite, although there is a cool part of it where you sort of like, I don't know what you actually like do, but it's essentially you like connect the lights in this like weird pattern, and then you watch Straub get mauled by a bunch of zombies, which is really cool. But yeah, overall it's just, I just don't think it has the same I guess it doesn't have the same aura, I guess, as the other maps, and I still enjoy it when I play it, but it's my least favorite like I guess full map of World War II, because obviously Darkest Shore is kind of Tortured Path is kind of its own thing. So yeah, Shadow Throne is going to be my number 7.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but Shadow Throne was on your overrated map list, I do believe.
It wasn't too high because I don't think anybody's ever like manual voice crack of the episode.
There it was.
Shout out Shelly. We got to mention Shelly too before we forget.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Shoot. What was I saying?
It was on your overrated map list.
Yeah, so I don't think anybody's ever like glazing Shadow Throne, but so I think it was like number 5 for me, something like that. So it's not like super overrated, but I definitely think like it is some people's like favorite map, and I just can't get there personally. So yeah, not too big fan of Shadow Throne.
In you describing it to me, it made so much sense because you said that they did kind of pull back on that horror aspect, and that was like the thing that made the first 2 maps, and I wish they just kind of stuck with that. Yeah. Even though they went on to do pretty cool things from the sounds of it with Frozen Dawn. But yeah, I totally get having that be your weakest point. It's the like most unpolished full map that isn't horror based.
Yeah,
it was just kind of sitting in a weird spot.
Yeah, it didn't take the risks that the other ones did, and I guess they kind of, in baseball terms, they kind of went for like a single. It feels like when the other maps feel like they're going for home runs. So, yeah, like whenever you play it, dude, I think I'm looking forward to playing with you. Maybe you'll have a totally different. Maybe it'll be your favorite map of the game. Who knows? But yeah, I can't say I mean, I still like it. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, it's gonna be number 7 for me. So basically the midpoint of the list.
Yeah.
Yeah, right there. So.
All right, my number 7 is gonna be Shinonuma Reborn. Pretty big fan of this map, and I think it's funny. I think you said Shinonuma Reborn was like the point of like starting to enjoy the maps. Yeah. I think I can agree. Probably wouldn't go back to any of the old ones except to try them out because I just straight up haven't played them. Shinonuma Reborn, I feel like I can confidently go back and still have some fun with it. By far the best version of the map. It's got a quest which Shinonuma never has, and not a terrible one at that. It's got a decent quest to get the Wonder Waff. It has a whole open space to it and the night aesthetic. Yeah, Shinonuma Reborn is a fun time. I know it's on a game that not a lot of people care for, but I think the systems of Vanguard of course lended themselves much better to round based, which is why it was such a breath of fresh air. I think part of the love from it does, like you said, come from the fact that it's what people were hoping for in the first place. But yeah, Shinonuma Reborn, I'm a fan. I will always be a fan. Yeah, I'd love to see something like it back, to be honest, but yeah,
I think we feel the same. And I correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure we not in the same order, but have the same maps in our 7 through 12. So our 1 through 6 is going to be the same maps in a different order as well.
I think you're right. You're right.
Yeah. Sweet.
Cool.
It really is a yeah. It's going to be interesting talking about the next 6, at least maps that we definitely enjoy more than the ones we just finished through. But so yeah, getting into number 6 here for me. It's a great map, man. I think it has its like cult following. Like most people like to love this map, but it definitely has like a small cult following. And that's gonna be Call of the Dead. It's gonna be Call of the Dead for me. Dude, Call of the Dead is sorry. Dude, Call of the Dead's a sweet map. Like it's a good time. I mean, George following you around, like the fog. Standing in the ice too long causes you to freeze. The fact that we have 2 wonder weapons on it, even though neither one is like particularly great. I think it's awesome that the round 100 was not like, you couldn't get to round 100 on it until like a couple years ago when somebody like figured out this like bizarre strat of like, I think you just like despawn zombies or something to like, it's a crazy round 100 strat from my understanding.
I think it was more recent than that even. Is
like within the last year
maybe a year ago. Yeah, very, very cool.
Yeah, no, it's sweet. It's is it the first snow map we've gotten? I think it's the first snow map.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I said, the crew's awesome. It's just a fun map. I mean, I don't care much for the quest, but of course, like, it's one of the first quests we got, so it's not going to be anything too crazy. But it's still, like, it's fun to do. There's just, like, the steps are fun. The atmosphere is sweet. The wonder weapons, even though they're not strong, they're unique. And AQW, if you know anything about me, it's that aura matters more for me than, like, strength of a wonder weapon. So,
Yes, sir.
yeah, just overall, it's a really fun, like, cool map. I think it would be higher for me if there was more, like, a more elaborate Easter egg, but yeah, I have no complaints about Call of the Dead. I think it's very unique, very innovative, and yeah, it's number 6 for me on my list.
Yeah, Call of the Dead sits a little higher for me, of course. I don't want to say too much, but yeah, that map did take a lot of interesting risks and made a lot of changes. I think BO1 was very good for constantly innovating map to map.
Yeah.
Maybe even more so than today. Probably more so than today.
Yeah.
The modern maps feel not aesthetically. It's the systems that lie underneath that are kept pretty consistent. I think BO1 was just throwing shit at the wall and seeing what stuck, and for the most part it worked out.
Yeah.
They were adding perks and wonder weapons and enemy types and all different aesthetics. Like BO1 was cooking. Shout out to Eric, his favorite game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Call of the Dead, but I'll talk a little bit more about it when we get there. My number 6. I'm big fan of the map, big fan of the game that it's on. Also has a cult following, which is why I thought you were kind of going here, but you weren't. So my number 6 is going to be the Tomb. I'm a Tomb lover, a Tomb truther. Yeah, it's on BO6, which I am on record of being a big fan of the modern Zombies games and their mechanics. It is one of the weaker maps in a lot of regards, mostly scale and size of the map. I think the ice staff is, of course, very fun, very easy to cheese. The boss fight, up until like there was a pretty like decent strategy for it, was pretty challenging for most people, and I respect that. And it was not a sort of just like shoot and wait for it to die sort of thing. You had to actually be very calculated in that boss fight, which is why it gave a lot of people a hard time. Aesthetically though, the Tomb is fantastic. I wish that aesthetic was made larger onto a larger map. But yeah, I'm a fan of the Tomb. What do you think, man?
Yeah, I guess I'll just segue because my number 5 is the Tomb. So I'll just make that my thoughts, sort of. So, yeah, dude, to your point, like visually, it's incredible. Like not even just the Dark Ether, like Nexus part, like the catacombs and stuff. Those are, dude, just gorgeous. Like it's visually such a sweet map. The quest is a nothing burger. It kind of falls in that same group of like, this is gonna like cover your ears, everybody. It's like a Shadows to me. Basically just like aesthetically incredible map, but I just can't get there with the Easter egg. I think there's really cool stuff with like Archibald. I think Stanley went over the story, and the story doesn't seem like particularly interesting, but just like the concept of Archibald and the fact that we talked to him through this like amulet thing. To your point, the boss fight, it's not this like grandiose like Z-Rex or anything, but it's the most unique mechanics for a boss fight in the game, which I applaud it for. It's really fun, and especially when you get to like the HVTs and stuff, it's not so much fun when you're just like standing behind a rock waiting for the lasers to lock out of one of the statues. But yeah, the cutscene stuff sucks that we didn't get an intro, and then the outro is like kind of a slap in the face. No
one says a word.
It's so stupid. They should have just not gave us one, honestly. But But no, overall, yeah, I'm a Tomb enjoyer. It's number 5 for me. I was debating between that and Call of the Dead. I will say the Tomb, unless I'm like forgetting something, I think the Tomb definitely in BO6. It my first playthrough of the Tomb, when I first got into the Dark Aether Nexus, dude, I had a shit-eating smirk on my face, bro. Like, you could not get, like, my jaw was on the floor looking at all, like, the different, like, the plants and, like, up in the sky and stuff, dude. Like, it was so sick. The Dark Aether in the Tomb, I think it gets overlooked just because the map itself isn't a fan favorite, but if nothing else, the Tomb has incredible visuals. So no, I agree with you. It's number 6 for you. It's number 5 for me. So what's your number 5?
Number 5. I'm also not super confident in the opinion. I have played a decent amount. I actually put it as a bit overrated, but admittedly from that is from my lack of experience, and I don't know that for sure. I've definitely played this map though somewhat and have an idea of it. It's gonna be Ancient Evil from BO4.
No.
I have had fun with this map. I have yet to like run through the Easter egg myself or acquire all of the gauntlets and fully upgrade them. I'm just not as experienced in that way, but I will give the map its flowers with the aesthetics of it. I said when I said that it was overrated, like the upper area while you are outside feels claustrophobic in a way I sort of don't like. Although I can respect that when the bottom is pretty open and it's a pretty good spot to chill at and just kill zombies. It's aesthetically amazing down there. Yeah, that's when Chaos started like falling off for me. Obviously, as the last map, it felt underwhelming. It obviously it's unfortunate what happened with Chaos, but the boss fight is really cool. I've seen it many times. Yeah, I just can't put it any higher with how limited of experience I have, but if it's made it all the way up here, you know, compared to many maps that I've played hours and hours on, I think if I put more time into it, it could be even higher. But I know you're an Ancient Evil
lover, yeah.
truther for sure, yeah. So what are your thoughts, man?
Yeah, I guess I'll do the full thing when we get to it, but I definitely think it's something where, like, as you know, you and I play, like, if we run through the BO4 maps, I definitely think it'll move up, dude. It has so much like aura, dude. Like, it's aesthetically incredible, Easter eggs incredible, boss fights incredible. So yeah, I guess I'll get into more specific stuff when I get to it. But
sounds good.
Yeah, dude, Ancient Evil rocks. I love it.
What do you got for number 4?
Number 4, yeah. So number 4 was another one that I was debating between. It was between number 4 and number 3, which obviously I'll get to. Little foreshadowing going on. So yeah, number 4 for me is a map that it's some people's favorite map ever. I think it's yeah, you know what I'm about to say. I love this map, dude. It freaking rocks, but it does have its shortcomings, and I don't think I could
quest.
Put it... yeah, you definitely know. What map it is. It's gonna be Mob of the Dead, Black Ops 2. Dude, I love Mob. Like, it's such a sick map. The atmosphere is off the charts. The afterlife system with like shocking the different like the areas that you go into that you can't access like when you're just playing, like that's such a sick concept. Obviously, like the lore, the crew, like all that stuff, you know, is sort of the like is what stands out in the map. Really no complaints about any of that. Like all that stuff is like towards the top, if not the top of like what they can be in terms of like crew, atmosphere, lore, that kind of stuff.
Hell yeah.
Of course, we got the Blunder Gat. It's a sweet wonder weapon. Upgrade that to the Acid Gat, and then Vitrolic Withering. But yeah, man, it's just the quest. I do not enjoy it's just boring. I don't know what to say about it besides it's just boring. You just go to the Golden Gate Bridge a few times and then kill whoever Weasel is. So, yeah, it's not even. I personally prefer Blood over it. I think that's becoming less controversial as time goes. I think more people are starting to like Blood over Mob.
Yes, sir.
But no, I mean, I say all this about the Easter egg and stuff. That's not to say that Mob isn't fantastic, because it 1,000,000% is. It's a fantastic map, but I would put it behind Buried for BO2 maps, and here it's the fourth best DLC2 in my opinion. So yeah, Mob's gonna come in at number 4 for me. What are your thoughts?
Mob is a great map. I ranked it pretty high in my overrated maps listing. Again, not to say it's bad. It's definitely not bad. It excels in a lot of ways. I just don't personally think it is the best in any of the categories that you look for in a map. So putting it as number 1 is just not in the cards for me. I get why people do love it, but it does have its shortcomings, as you said, and I'll get in there a little bit more once I get to it. But yeah, Mob of the Dead's great. Don't come at us. It's just not the best. All right, my number 4 is going to be Call of the Dead. Huge fan of Call of the Dead. Yeah, coming off the heels of Ascension, which Ascension was such an experience for me, because I started with BO1, playing the hell out of Kino, some of 5. I was really young with 5, so it was hard because that is a more difficult map, of course. But it was so cool to see a brand new map with Ascension. Although Ascension does not excel much at all in aesthetics, there are some cool things. But coming from Ascension to Call of the Dead, where there is a lot of personality and depth just to the aesthetics of the map, so neat. And the absolute home run with George Romero, such a neat concept that they've only since tried to do one other time, really, with Oscar on Astra Malorum, although in a different sort of way. Such a neat concept. I can't give them their flowers anymore for it. And obviously paying respect to the man that started this whole thing with zombies. 2 new wonder weapons for the first time on a map, and one kills pretty darn well. One is pure utility, but they have fantastic aura. I'll totally agree with you on that. Yeah. Aura is important. It is. It's not my most important thing, but when they get it right, it deserves its praise. Yeah. The first celebrity cast as well, not counting 5. I don't really consider presidents and political figures as celebrities, really. Yeah, that's fair. So I would call this the first celebrity map, the first of the Dead celebrity map. Yeah, that was also at a time where they were doing this thing where, like, solo you could get like halfway to the Easter egg and you'd get a trophy or achievement for it, and then if you had a full crew, you could do the entire thing and get the full completion. I've always been sort of a solo player up until recently, so back in those days it really hurt to not be able to get that far, and I'll never forgive them for not doing solo Easter eggs all the way through, but I get why they did it. They're promoting cooperation. Yeah, all in all, Call of the Dead was a huge swing, and it deserves a lot of praise. Lots of unique mechanics. The water being able to freeze you, as annoying as it is unique to that map, and there's so much to say about it. It's not a necessarily impressive quest or anything, but I think all of the risks that they took with the map definitely paid off, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think specifically on the water, like, it's a good way of making sure that, like, the player doesn't just stand in the water basically to avoid George, like, freaking out, because that's obviously the way that you calm him down when he gets angry. But I think it is doable solo. I'm pretty sure you can do the Call of the Dead Easter egg solo.
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Like, I've seen speedruns on it. I don't know if that's just like modded, but I thought that you could.
You might be right. Like, because they sort of did it with Moon too, because you could only get so far solo,
Yeah.
but then in BO3 they made the entire egg accessible to solo in Zombie Chronicles. You might be right on that, but it might be modded. I'm not too sure.
Okay. No, I mean, yeah, all your points are totally valid. Like, it's a great map. I think the VR11, like, it is, to your point, like, utility. Just the way it looks, dude, you would think it, like, annihilates zombies, but it's so weak. And just, like, yeah, it's basically like a glorified, like, monkey bomb. But, yeah, no, so that was your number 4. My number 3, like I said, I was debating between this and Mob. And it's funny because these two maps have some similarities, specifically the Blundergat. And of course, I'm referencing Paradox Junction, the newest map that we got in BO7. Dude, I absolutely love Paradox Junction. Like, it's such a sweet map. I am pleasantly surprised with the transitions between the two nuke towns. Even the original, like the past Nuketown, like that's not like the daytime one. Just the fact that they made it kind of like alpha, like they did like the alpha omega like sounds and like round change and stuff. That's awesome. Admittedly, I do spend most of my time in like the new version of it. But I mean, regardless, like it's fun going between those two. The Easter egg is phenomenal. The lore tidbits that I've heard are really sweet. I think Chopper just dropped his basically the video going over the lore, so I haven't watched it yet, but I'm very much looking forward to that.
It's in my watch later. Yeah.
But no, dude, I mean, just the games that you play with the twins, the cool references between the past and the future, how you like put the Blundergat in the old version, and of course that sort of infers that when the nuke went off, it gave it this like Sundergat power or something in the nuked version. Same thing goes with the tree. You plant it in the old, it's grown in the new, and just like, yeah, dude, I think they did a really, really good job with like making it known that it's like one map is in the past and the other one's in the future. Like they, in the Easter egg especially, they made that they made just really cool steps based around that. And then, like I said, the kids games are super fun. The boss fight is, I think it's my second favorite in BO7 because it does have unique mechanics, and it's mechanics that they sort of like they sort of give you like trials at understanding these mechanics before you get into the boss fight, so you're not just like thrown in and you're like, what am I supposed to do right now? No, overall, dude, and I mean, yeah, the Blundergat's fantastic. The Sundergat, I mean, not fantastic, but it's the aura. The aura is what matters, and the aura of the Blundergat and the Sundergat are off the charts. So yeah, overall, dude, I love Paradox Junction. It's gonna be number 3 for me.
Yeah, Paradox Junction, fantastic. I'll talk about it when we get there. Yeah, the story, phenomenal. The twins are fantastic, very, very whimsical, and it fits the sort of story that they're going with zombies this year. You were very much, we made so many videos like leading up to Paradox, and one thing you were pretty consistent about was wanting something a little different for a boss fight, and I think they definitely delivered on that. Yeah, we'll talk about when we get there. Which we're not too far. My number 3 is going to be Mob of the Dead. Again, it's a very solid map. I think the aesthetics and the crew and the wonder weapon are super, super solid. It is definitely something to at least strive for. While I don't think that any of them are necessarily the best, it is like a milestone to sort of look forward to and strive to be with all maps that are coming out today. Yeah, the quest, sadly, super weak. I think it was the map is just such a breath of fresh air coming off of Die Rise, which is obviously a very unbeloved map in COD Zombies history. Yeah, I think they did a lot of fun things. The afterlife mechanic, obviously super unique. Got to give them their praise for that. The upgrading the blunder gat, not just by pack-a-punching, but into the vitriolic withering, the acid gat. Super cool concept. Wish they did more with that on Paradox Junction. But Thunder gat's cool. We'll get there. Yeah, Mob of the Dead, solid map. I would be hard pressed to not have it probably at least still in A tier.
Yeah.
It's just not my favorite, but everyone knows Mob of the Dead, awesome map.
Yeah, I don't think anybody could really have it like super low. There's just so much going for it that you can't like, you can't say it's like one of the worst maps ever. It's so cool. It's just, yeah, we both agree that it's kind of the Easter egg, and then I think you said that you don't think it like particularly excels at anything. Like it's not like the top tier for anything for you, but yeah, at the very worst, it's a good map. So yeah, all good points. So now we're in the top 2 for both of us, and I did not expect you to be higher on Paradox than me, but yeah, we'll get to that when we get to it. So my number 2 map of all time, it's a great map. I think people give it appropriate praise, and I love it, and it's a map that you've already mentioned, and it's Ancient Evil, Black Ops 4. Yeah, this is a awesome map, dude. Like the quests for the hands, how you get a trial and you have to sort of like prove your worthiness essentially to like be able to use the hands. The fact that they like teleport you to these like unique locations outside the map for these trials, like like it's a small detail, but it's really sick. And then yeah, just the atmosphere in general, like one of the best atmospheres we've ever gotten in my opinion, especially when you get to I think it's the center of the world is what it's called.
I think so, yeah.
But yeah, dude, the quests super fun. I like this map is not an S tier, but it feels like it should be for me. And it's such a weird thing that like when I think about it is something just feels like off for some reason when I play it. Like that's like literally the only reason why it's not an S tier for me is like I look around, I do the quests, I do the boss fight, all that, and I'm like, wow, this like feels like it should be an S tier for me. But then I really don't know what it is. I can't quite put my finger on it. Maybe it's like the claustrophobic nature of the like the above the ground portion of the map that you brought up, AQW, but yeah, I don't know what it is, just like something feels off. But besides that, man, everything else is so sick. The Easter egg, all the steps are super fun and rewarding to do. Wonder weapons rock, super unique, and like visually they're incredible. I love the abilities that each one has. It's the end of the Chaos storyline, unfortunately. I would have liked to see that sort of continue on, but it is what it is. But no, overall, dude, like, yeah, Pegasus, the entire thing, it's just like, it's peak. Like, I'm kind of annoyed that I can't put it in S tier. I don't know what, maybe I just need to play it more or something, but like, I played it plenty, and I love Ancient Evil, bro. It's so sick. It's my number 2 map.
Yeah, again, I've said kind of my thoughts on Ancient Evil. I'd love to run it with you, man, and get a more full and complete experience of the map. And you may be right. It may move higher, and I'm sure it probably will, because a lot of people praise the hell out of this map, and it seems great to me. I just can't confidently put it any higher.
That's fair. It's so good, dude.
Solid choice, though. My number 2. I had a hard time deciding between these two, but I think I've sort of kept my recency bias at bay. I'm gonna go number 2, Paradox Junction.
Yep.
Huge fan. Huge fan. Oh my gosh, they are absolutely killing it with BO7.
Yeah.
And the fact that like some people, more people than not, will probably see this as the weakest map of BO7. Doesn't say a damn thing, because this map is incredible. They said Kevin couldn't do it, and he did it, boy.
Yeah, I did. He
made Nuketown a fun ass zombies map, and that's not saying much either. Like both of the other versions, Nuketown Zombies BO2, Alpha Omega, Chorbsy and I have a lot of fun with those maps.
Yeah.
But man, this map is dripping in aura and story. The twins are such a cool aspect to this. We've sort of been being teased their inclusion in this in the previous 2 maps this year. So being able to finally see them, but before even seeing them in the story, you could see them in the exfil screen, and that was a jump scare, literally and figuratively.
Yeah.
The Blundergat inclusion, while I wish they made it make more sense, I had my own ideas on how they could have done that. I think all in all, it's a solid wonder weapon on this map. The Sundergat upgrade, if you know how to use it right, the thing rips and tears. So cool. The souls popping out, which are then used for all sorts of other things within the map. I am shocked that they made this as fun as they actually did. The seamless transitions are a huge part of that to me. They very easily could have had that sort of portal animation that they throw all over the place in Modern Zombies with fast travels and whatnot. But they didn't do that. They made it seamless. You can be reloading while you're teleporting and you don't stop whatsoever. The Easter egg song, fire. Shout out to Megan Rice. I have had that song on repeat for weeks now. Yeah, man. I can't emphasize enough how surprised and happy I am about Paradox Junction. It's an unsung hero of Modern Zombies, and I hope people stop sleeping on it.
Yeah, no, yeah, all great points. I agree with you 100%. Obviously, I sort of gave my my praises to it. The fact that the quest took like, was it 10 hours? 12 hours? Was it 12?
Oh yeah, dude. I think it was just under 12.
Yeah, like being a long quest. I mean, obviously it was basically just people hung up on the last step, but like even the last step is sick. Dude, the piano step is sick. Like it's so good. And like I mentioned this already, but like it doesn't even have the third Nuketown or like a bunker area, and it's still like incredible. Like, yeah, I don't know, man. It's such a good map. You sort of took a step back and gave like a broader picture of like BO7 and stuff, but like it's a lot of, I understand why it might be people's least favorite map in BO7, but in my opinion it's still better than anything on BO6, and you and I love BO6. Like that's the crazy part, is like it's just BO7 is so good, and Paradox is, you know, like I said, it's probably most people's least favorite map, but like if this is the floor of BO7, like, dude, reading's so good, it's insane. It's insane. Yeah, no, great points about Paradox. And yeah, now we're gonna move on to my number one.
What's our
map.
number one? Our number one.
Both of our number ones. Yeah, forgive me. It couldn't be anything else, right? I'm surprised that you said that you were debating between this and like when you started talking, I was like, oh no, is he gonna do it? Of course, it's Zetsubo no Shima, BO3, the best map in BO3.
That's right.
My second favorite map of all time. I don't know where it ranks all time for you, AKW. I am curious if you want to answer that when you start giving your spiel, but dude, it's amazing. I like just right when you start in and like you're introduced to the plant system, just the layout of the map is phenomenal. I love like the theme, the atmosphere of it, the fact that it's sort of this like quiet, I guess like mysterious, like creepy kind of map, whereas the other BO3 maps are very much like in your face, like there's a lot going on. I mean, you could say like obnoxious, but like not in a bad way. Obviously, it's just like they're very like in your face and like loud about it. Whereas Shinonuma's kind of, it's just Zetsubo no Shima is it's just quiet, and it's like it just knows it's the best, and like it's just waiting for you to figure it out basically. like the skull steps around the map, doing the different rituals, and then finally getting the Skull of Non Stopway, dude. That like underground area. You have the spider bait side Easter egg, like the entire Easter egg, dude. It's so good. The spider mini boss, the KT4 is such an underrated wonder weapon, bro. Upgrading that to the master, like I freaking adore Zetsubo no Shima. I truly cannot get enough of it. It's so unique. Yeah, there's just like I could literally go on, and every time I talk about Zetsubo, I never explain it well. I just glaze everything that like it's like a stream of conscious thing. Knifing the hanging bodies in the webs to get the pack-a-punch part, dude. The swimming, like, dude, it's so good. I put a tweet out, I think yesterday or the day before, where it's basically like, I think I was watching Noah J's video of someone, I forget his name. He's done it quite a bit now. Go check it out. I please forgive me. I'm forgetting his name, but basically did the Zetsubo Easter egg on like the lowest round possible. And I was just watching him go on like run around Zetsubo and stuff, and I was like, dude, this map is incredible. And like every time I see it, the tweet I put out is basically I want to defend it with my life, because I truly feel like people don't appreciate Zetsubo for what it is. Like it should be a consensus like top 5 map, and I'm like dead serious about that too. It's so good, dude. The one bad thing about it in my opinion is the boss fight. It's the boss fight's abysmal, but I guess it kind of speaks to how good the rest of the map is that it can have that bad of a boss fight and still be my second favorite map of all time, and of course one on this list. So what are your thoughts, AQ Devi?
Yeah. Yeah, every time Zetsubo comes out, you just like black out for like 2 to 3 minutes. And just
yeah. Sorry, everybody.
give it your all. No, I mean, I agree with everything you said. It all makes sense. It is all accurate. Yeah, Zetsubo, best map in BO3, absolutely fantastic. I love that they leaned back into the horror roots from like World at War into this. They really went for it a little more. With the hallucinations and like the roaming monster on round 50. I love all the little details. I feel like we just talked about this. You and I glaze Zetsubo all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's got a lot of components to it that, while at the time seemed very complicated and maybe unnecessary, like today I think can be respected and understood a lot more, and it just adds flavor to the map. The water system, of course, thrashers, very neat concept, and that you can be like sucked into them like see out of them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the only negative is the boss fight, but like you said, that just speaks to the rest of the map. Zetsubo, fantastic. So many side eggs. You can tell, like, I know people don't care for the map in general when looking at BO3, but Blundell put just as much of his blundussy into this map as any other in BO3. Yeah, and to answer your question about ranking, I think I can. I've yet to do a full map ranking. I'd love to one day. I think I can at least comfortably put this top 5, probably even top 3. Zetsubo. I mean, Ashes of the Damned, still my favorite map. So many neat things to it, but yeah, I could at least say top 5. That's pretty easy. Fantastic map.
Yeah, thank you for sort of taking my my word vomit and sort of arranging it in a cohesive thought. I appreciate that. But yeah, dude, it's so good. I love Zetsubo. It's always going to be a top 3 map for me, I think. But yeah, no, that's our list. I think, what was the map that we disagreed on the most? Outbreak, maybe? Ancient Evil?
I think they were sort of tied. Well, no, Outbreak was 4 slots higher on me.
Okay. And
so I think so.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, so big differences. Otherwise, we towards the top of the list, I think we started to agree a little bit more. There was like less variance between those, but yeah, no, that was fun. Glad we.
So much of the floor of my map ranking here was just from ignorance. Like, yeah. But
of course, ball knowers. We had the same top 1 map. It's Zetsubo. It couldn't be anything else, right? Although you were debating Paradox, I was surprised by that. As a fellow Paradox lover, I was surprised that was a debate for you.
I'm such a modern zombies lover. They're killing it this year. Like I said, I think I've tamed out the recency bias a little bit, but it's still so good.
Yeah, it's fantastic. But yeah, I think that's everything. Do you have anything else before we sign off here?
I don't think so. Take us home and plug the Discord, because we want all of y'all in here.
Yeah, so that's going to do it for us, guys. Thank you so much for watching episode 9 of the Pack Mentality podcast. We very much appreciate you guys listening and, sticking it out through our lunacy with some of these maps. But you guys are the best. Obviously, I say this every time. Like, the comments are awesome. Please join the Discord. We appreciate you guys. We want to talk to you guys even more. Just have a community going where everybody can just kind of talk shop about whatever, and we'll obviously have people on the podcast more as time goes on. But make sure you follow us on Twitter, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Speaking of comments, just let us know anything that you guys disagree with. If you agree with me and you think Outbreak's the worst map ever, let me know. But yeah, that's gonna do it for the episode. We appreciate you guys, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.